Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondinauthor and I'm the author of How to Run a Successful Yoga Business and Not Go Broke, Lessons from a Yoga Teacher, Entrepreneur, and Modern Hippie. And welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about finding your X Factor as a yoga teacher. To begin, I'm going to read to you a little section in my book, How to Run a Successful Yoga Business and Not Go Broke. I'm on page 42. What is your X Factor? Let me tell you a secret. You don't teach who you want to be. You teach who you are. Even if you want to emulate a Lululemon cover model and inside you're a modern hippie like me, that's what's going to come out. As much as I tried to fit into the modern gym yoga teacher scene, that's not who I am, and so I didn't do a very good job of it. I'm more spiritual, empathetic, intuitive, and connecting. It was stressful to have a group fitness studio filled with 40 students because I couldn't connect to all of them. And when they figured out I wasn't like most teachers, my classes got smaller, which wasn't good for me or for the gym. I had to embrace who I am and work with it. I had to find my X Factor. So for you need to find your X Factor. According to the North American Studio Alliance, Namaste, in 2005, there were 70,000 yoga teachers in North America. Now we're in 2018. I couldn't find a more current statistic from Namaste, but I am certain that that statistic is much higher than 70,000 yoga teachers. And for you, if you are a newly trained yoga teacher, or if you're beginning as a yoga teacher, you need to find your X Factor or your USP, your unique selling perspective, in order to stand apart from the other yoga teachers in this sea of yoga teachers. Here's the thing, when you're trying to get a job, you need to have that unique factor, that niche audience that you cater toward. You need to find the talent within you so that you can market yourself as a yoga teacher, not only to yoga studios and gyms, but also to private clients and small groups that you might not have thought of before. Now, let me give you my example. So for me, I really cater toward teaching beginning students. I'm really good at teaching beginners. Another subgroup that I am really good at teaching are pregnant women. So for my prenatal yoga classes, those are my two unique selling perspectives, or they're my X Factors. I'm really good at teaching beginners. I'm really good at teaching pregnant women. I'm really good at teaching Hatha yoga with a spiritual edge to it. So that when I go out there in the marketplace and I market myself as a yoga teacher, I'm selling what my X Factor is. I'm not trying to be a jack of all trades and master of none. I'm not trying to fit in the sea of yoga teachers, because actually you need to stand apart. So what is your X Factor? What are your natural gifts and talents? Now think outside of the box a little bit. I had a yoga teacher who taught at my studio who did yoga paddleboarding. I don't even know how she did that, but she did yoga on paddleboards. And so she actually marketed a class in downtown DC where she was teaching yoga on paddleboards. It's hard enough to balance on a paddleboard as it is, but doing yoga on the paddleboard, I can't even imagine that. Or if you do aerial yoga, or if you teach to senior citizens, or if you teach to children best, or parents and children together. You could do a parent-child yoga class or family yoga. There are many different avenues that you can take to find your natural gifts and talents so that you stand out from the crowd. In order to find this X Factor or this USP, this unique selling perspective, just think about what you gravitate toward naturally. Do you naturally gravitate toward people of a certain age? So let's say 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. What do you naturally gravitate toward as a yoga practitioner? And what do you naturally gravitate toward as far as a yoga practice goes? So are you more slow and methodical in your teaching? Or do you really like fast-paced classes where you like to sweat and get a good workout? Are you more spiritual in nature, or are you just more practical in nature where you like to focus on the muscle groups, focus on precision in the yoga poses? So you have your unique selling perspective already because you know your nature, you know what you are like. And what I would say is, instead of trying to get a specialty in many types of yoga or always looking for new certifications in the latest and greatest trends in yoga, what I would recommend that you do is that you really focus on what you're talented at in yoga and you hone that skill. You perfect that skill so that when you market yourself, you are excellent at what you do. It's too easy to want to get a smorgasbord of yoga practices and kind of mesh them all together so that when you market yourself, you're like, well, I'm good at this, and this. That's less marketable than when you have a specialty. So for example, when I put myself out there, when I'm marketing myself, I market mostly to pregnant women because that is my number one specialty. And that became my number one specialty when I learned that there was an actual need for that in my community. So when I learned that there was a need and I knew my natural talents were dealing with pregnant women in a great way, helping them through their pregnancy and nurturing them and teaching them about pregnancy, labor, and childbirth, as well as helping them during their pregnancy with the yoga poses and yoga breathing, I realized my unique selling perspective, and that helped me tremendously in my business. I wish I'd learned it a little bit sooner, but it did take me a while to learn what my unique selling perspective was. But once I got that X factor, I was able to effectively market my classes. So find your X factor. Start working on it now. Make lists of the things that you are truly good at as a yoga teacher. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Share this video with friends, family, and your yoga dog. Thank you for pledging your support on Patreon. I couldn't do this without you. www.patreon.com/MichelleFondin. And I will see you in the next video.